Hello and welcome into a very special edition of Sports Wrap Live. Obviously we go live every night, but tonight it's live night here in PSTV, and we've got a great show for you. Coming up, we have some soccer championships, some football regional matchups. We're also going to preview some matchups coming up next week.
That's right, Lee. Also, we bring back the Sports Wrap Challenge tonight and even have Derek Palaki coming back on the show for a little bit of a segment.
Yeah, he's going to join us a little bit later, but right now, it's Sports Wrap Live. And welcome back into Sports Wrap Live. As mentioned, a crazy night here on PSTV. It's live night, every show going live right in a row.
That's right, Lee. And speaking of crazy, we've talked about it through the last couple weeks. It is sectional time. We have some sectional finals to start you guys off with from soccer tonight. Lee, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
Absolutely right. Class C sectional finals. Let's go. The number 1 seeded Lake Placid Blue Bombers, the number 3 seeded Seton Knights, getting ready to kick off here in Plattsburgh. This one took place last weekend, and starting off in the first half, Lake Placid possessing the ball well, looking to get an early goal, but that one is too easy for Keegan Briggs, the Seton goalkeeper. Lake Placid again here off the throw-in, really trying to get that early lead, but nothing doing right there. Here's some good passing from Lake Placid, a nice give and go, and we're going to freeze it right here. Look, you got the keeper, you got the defender, and you have the attacker all coming at the ball right now. They're going to converge, and a good save by Keegan Briggs. Way to get big from him, and then the defender clears the ball out. A free kick here from Lake Placid. It's going to get all the way through the box, and there's going to be a shot at the end of it, but Briggs coming up big again. He had 9 saves on the night for Seton. And another free kick here for Lake Placid, taken from about 20, 35 yards out, and this one's just going to stay too high and go over the bar. You see there about halfway through the first half, still a scoreless ball game. And over to Seton now, good free kick here, but that's going to be right at the the Lake Placid goalkeeper. And here's the first goal of the game, a scramble in the front of the net, and Hale Thompson puts Lake Placid up 1-0 in the first half. See there, the kids are very excited. And here's Seton trying to get back on the board. That shot is saved easily by Chris Cordial. And as time winds down in the first half, you see Lake Placid holding on to that 1-0 lead, trying to make a bid for another goal right before half, but that one just skips right across the mouth of the goal. Second half now, Seton trying to get on the board. A good shot right there, but that one stays high over the bar. A free kick here for Lake Placid, a little floater in the box. Defense can't clear it, but eventually the ball is going to be played to a player. He is off sides. That goal will not count. Going the other way for Seton right here. A good juggle, nice move right there, and a beautiful shot. Can't get the first save, but Cordial is there for the second one. He had 5 saves on the night for Lake Placid. And here back to Lake Placid, a corner kick, and there he is again. Thompson rising up and getting his head on the ball. Watch it one more time. Puts the ball in a beautiful placement. Far corner, right on the ground. Can't stop that one. Seton now trying to get on the board. They need this game. It's win or go home in the sectional finals, as you see the Lake Placid guys celebrate right there. Seton really pushing at the end of this game. A nice shot, but that one just stays high. That's off the football field goal goalpost. That is out of play. And desperation time, a good ball right here, a through ball for Seton, but he just doesn't get a great touch on the ball. Another save, and that is going to do it. As Lake Placid wraps this one up, they move on 2-0 in the finals.
The Shazy boys soccer dynasty was looking to continue in the Class D championship game last Saturday night as the Eagles took on Minerva Newcomb at Plattsburgh High. It took less than 2 minutes for Shazy to get on the board as Brandon Lauren headed in a free kick to put the Eagles up 1-0. That only started the offensive onslaught as the Eagles would pour in 4 more goals in the first frame and tack on 1 more in the second, which was Lauren's 4th goal of the contest, giving Shazy their 6th consecutive Class D Section 7 championship. The win improves their overall record to 18-0-1, and now Shazy will move on to play the Section 10 champion, either Harrisville or Hilton, in the first round of regionals on Saturday.
And from boys to girls, the Eagles' reign in Section 7 is over for now. After 7 straight sectional titles and 2 straight state championships, Chazy lost in the sectional finals to Elizabethtown Lewis on Saturday. The Lions had lost to Chazy twice already during the regular season, but the third time would be the charm. After an evenly fought first half, in the 29th minute, a Chazy goal kick was deflected and ended up on the foot of Kylie Cassavaugh, who turned and drilled the ball into the low corner for an Elizabethtown Lewis lead, 1-0. With the lead, Lions coach Steve Denton moved Cassavaugh to defense to try to hold off the Chazy attack. The Eagles were not about to quit, though, as they continued to pressure the Lions' goal. Kirsten Ashline had a great game in net, recording 7 saves for Elizabethtown Lewis in the shutout. The Lions played defensively for most of the second half, but managed to score a second goal off a rebound with about 15 minutes to go, and they would eventually win by a final of 2-0. Elizabethtown Lewis will play a regional game in Potsdam on Saturday.
The boys Class B championship saw top-seeded Northeastern Clinton take on Peru to see who would take home the coveted championship. The Cougars got the only goal on the board in the first half when Austin Tetchell headed in a corner kick from Avery Trombley. Tetchell and Kyle McCarthy knocked in 2 more markers in the second half to give Northeastern Clinton the sectional championship after winning by a final score of 3-0. The Peru Indians outshot the Cougars 10-8 with Josh Rabideau for the Cougars and Michael Danis both playing well in net. The Cougars will now move on to the regional finals on Saturday afternoon at Plattsburgh High as they will take on Section 2's Ichabod Crane, who is coming off a 3-0 win against Ogdensburg Free Academy. Game time is set for 3.
And both Plattsburgh and Saranac girls soccer pulled off an upset, but we're going to get to that one in just a second. Let's just recap those games we just talked about for a minute, Mike.
Elizabethtown Lewis knocking off what would be said one of the biggest dynasties in Section 7.
Yeah, on the boys and the girls side, those Chazy teams are just dominant year in and year out, and I'm very surprised that Elizabethtown Lewis was able to pull off that upset.
You're absolutely right, but you know, soccer is one of those games, Lee, where one little bounce the other way, that can completely change the game and all the momentum's gone. Yeah,
and you're right, and like I said, it was a deflection off of a goal kick, so something that really is kind of out of your hands. But going on to Saranac and Plattsburgh girls soccer now, they both pulled an upset in the sectional semifinals, and the 2 teams met for the sectional championship on Friday. The Hornets are no stranger to championship games as they have reached the sectional final match each of the last 6 years. Their experience paid off early. In just the 8th minute, Marley Curl slid a ball through to Brooke Knight, who put it away and gave her team the early 1-0 lead. Plattsburgh continued to put pressure on the Chiefs goalkeeper Jamie Favreau, but Favreau stepped up and made some nice saves to keep the Hornets lead at just 1. Saranac came out in the second half with a mission to score, and at the 7th minute mark, did just that. Amy Lotiempo took a free kick, which was initially stopped by Plattsburgh keeper Carly Neal, but Amelia Jenkins was able to get a foot on the rebound and score the equalizer for Plattsburgh. They had several opportunities to take back the lead, but were unable to do so until just 5 minutes to go in regulation, when Lindsay Harris stripped a Saranac defender and passed off to Brooke Knight, who buried the ball in the back of the net to send Plattsburgh on to the next round by a final of 2-1. Plattsburgh played Potsdam in the regional matchup last night. We had a camera crew there, and we'll bring you the results of that game next week.
So, Lee, some great soccer action in Section 7. We'll be right back. We're going to get into some football. You're watching Sports Wrap Live here on PSTV.
PSTV would like to thank Duke's Diner for their continued support of our programming. Located at 8 Tom Miller Road, Plattsburgh, New York.
Sports Live premieres tonight with your host, Victor Sweet.
All right, showtime. You are Stuart Scott. You are Stuart Scott. You're cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Hey. Hey.
You're not Stuart Scott!
Weekly Burgie, Season 2, in 10, 9, 8,
B. Stephen
7,
Colbert.
6,
B. Stephen
5,
Colbert. You are Stephen Colbert.
We welcome you back to Sports Wrap live here on PSTV, and it's time to get into the 7-10 regional matchups for football here in Section 7. Lee, we'll start it off with the Peru Indians.
Absolutely, going to Class B, and in a regional matchup between Peru and Franklin Academy, the quarterbacks were expected to be the difference makers, but it was the running game that decided this one. The Indians were led on the ground by Mackenzie LaRock and Tim Remillard, who rushed for over 90 yards and a touchdown each. After taking a 7-0 lead into halftime, Peru capped off a 72-yard drive with a Hunter Bruno score to take a 14-0 lead. Bruno scored again early in the fourth, where the Indians really piled it on, scored 3 more times and winning by a final of 35-0. Franklin Academy's usually potent offense was slowed down after losing 3 players during the game to injury, including starting quarterback Mitchell Gallagher, who led the team with 62 rushing yards. Peru advances with the win and will face Glens Falls in the state quarterfinals on Saturday.
The Class C regional football game between Section 10's Ogdensburg Free Academy and the undefeated Saranac Lake Red Storm took place last Saturday at AuSable Valley. And although the opponent was from a different section, Saranac Lake achieved the same results with their high-powered offense. The Red Storm scored 3 times on their first 10 plays of the game en route to a 42-12 victory over OFA. Quarterback Matt Fallon finished the game with an impressive stat line of 12 for 14 with 256 yards and 3 touchdowns to remain unbeaten in 2012. The win advances the Red Storm back to AuSable Valley Saturday afternoon as they will take on Section 2's Hoosick Falls in the New York State quarterfinals. The road to the Carrier Dome kicks off at 1 p.m.
And in Class D, Mariah took on Tupper Lake in a game that featured less than 400 total yards of offense for both teams combined. The Vikings scored on their opening possession after a Cameron Wright touchdown run, but didn't get much the rest of the half thanks to sloppy play and turnovers. Tupper Lake put together a nice 11-play, 72-yard drive at the end of the first half, which was capped off by a 29-yard touchdown pass to Brock Tarbox. After an extra point, Tupper Lake would take a 7-6 lead into the half. After the intermission, though, Mariah's defense turned up the heat on Tupper Lake. Quarterback Mitch Keniston completed only 3 of 10 passes in the second half after going 8 for 11 in the first half. Offensively, the Vikings relied on the run game, feeding Cameron Wright 32 times for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. His second touchdown of the game at the end of the third quarter put Mariah ahead for good 12-7. They would win by that margin and advance to their 4th state quarterfinal game in the last 5 years, where they will take on Rensselaer.
So, Lee, all 3 Section 7 teams moving on to the New York State quarterfinals football tournament. Got to be happy about that here for the section.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty exciting for us, too. We have a little more to talk about next week. And these games, just great games across the board. I want to start with Mariah. They've been coming on late in the season. They came on late. We talked about their offense, how they were kind of anemic, really didn't score a whole lot of points at the beginning of the season. But their defense has played solid all year long, and they really stepped up here late.
Now, they go in to play Rensselaer at Schuylerville on Saturday afternoon. And one of the things that they may have a little trouble with is, you know, Mariah, they've only played 2 Class D teams all year. They may be an advantage, that could also be a disadvantage, but we'll see come Saturday. As Rensselaer, one of those teams, you know, they have a 9-1 record in Section 2.
Yeah, and a very good record at that. Let's move on to Saranac Lake.
Saranac Lake goes in. They're one of those teams that have scored more than 40 all year, and so is their opponent. Both teams go into this game at 10-0. Both teams have scored more than 40 points in each game. This is going to be a game for the ages on Saturday.
Yeah, it looks like this one is going to be a shootout. Either that or it might just be a 3-0 game. You never know with these 2 teams. But like you said, both undefeated, both coming in really hot, and it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Now, as we head to Peru, we'll see what Peru's high-powered offense can do against the 9-1 Glens Falls Indians, who pulled off the upset against Chalmont, and both teams 9-1 once again. So this is going to be a good game coming up this weekend, too.
Yeah, and both teams, Glens Falls and Peru, their only loss of the season for each team, the very first game of the season. Like you said, Glens Falls was able to get revenge on that one. But right now we have a special treat for you. We have our highlight of the best football plays of the season coming at you right now.
We'll be right back here. You're watching Sports Wrap Live on PSTV.
Just say the first line.
Hello, I'm Kyle Igna, and welcome to The Answer Is PSTV. Our first question, who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Your answer?
William Shakespeare.
That is incorrect, I'm sorry. Our other contestant, do you have an answer?
PSTV.
That is correct again. Now we're moving on to our final round, where if you answer this question correctly, you will win a brand new TV. Are you ready?
Yes, Kyle.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Contestant number 2, for a TV, can you do it?
What?
PSTV.
That is correct, and you are the winner of a brand new TV.
Whoa, PSTV! 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 Really? PSTV! PSTV! PSTV!
PSTV would like to thank Duke's Diner for their continued support of our programming. Located at 8 Tom Miller Road, Plattsburgh, New York.
Welcome back into Sports Wrap Live. Derek Palaki joins us, and Derek, I hear you have something on your mind.
Oh, I do. You know what I can't stand? Teams that run up the score. What's the deal with that? Are coaches trying to impress the NCAA? Are fans, friends, and family members running some sort of fantasy league with these guys? They're high school athletes, for crying out loud. What happened to a friendly game with sportsmanship in class? When Peru beats Plattsburgh 70-0 and Beekmantown 48-0, I have a beef with that. I haven't seen that sort of pounding since I got a burger with Mike Warren. Not a pretty sight. Don't picture it. It'll burn out your retinas. Back to my point, though. 70-0. Isn't a coach's job to realize when they are up for good, to take it easy? These athletes on the losing side have to eventually go home to their milk and Oreos, play a little Xbox, and not feel like they just got routed like Lee routs Mike in the Sports Wrap Challenges. I would know. I commentate them. I commentate the drubbings, I should say. But what can be done? A mercy rule? No chance. Reconferencing? Don't see it happening. The only reasonable solution is to bench your guys when you know you are going to win the game. These are high school athletes. They aren't getting paid. They don't need to pad the stats or play for something more when they are already winning big. The coaches need to get off their high horses, put in the backups, and not make the other side look bad. There's no shame in taking it easy when the game is clearly out of reach, out of respect for other teams and respect for your players. What if Blake Altizer got hurt in the fourth quarter when they're up 50? I've seen Victor Sweet get hurt putting on makeup, so anything's possible. It looks bad on the coach and hurts not only the players, but also the fans. Do yourself a favor, coaches who run up the score. Stay humble, and when you're up big, be bigger and bench your guys. That's my take anyway.
All right, Derek. Well, thank you very much. That was very insightful. And speaking of drubbings, we have a very special piece right now for you, the Sports Wrap Live Challenge featuring Derek Palaki.
That's right. This week's Sports Wrap Challenge comes on with a twist. As we know, Derek, well, we'll say he likes to talk a lot. Well, this is the one time where talking got into a little bit. Let's check out the challenge.
What started off as a friendly challenge, a heated rivalry.
Want to play racquetball, old man?
I got something for you, Betty Beer Can.
And Palaki with the whiff right there.
For the friendly conversation and turn it up to a heated battle.
Yeah, this
soft serve, soft serve.
Whoa!
An effort by Derek.
I like the effort. I like the dive. Is it going to get him anywhere? No, it's not. And it is over.
The series, 2-0 with a slaughter.
So, you came in here with confidence, but what happened out there?
I underestimated the old man's wisdom.
You gave a great effort, but you came up short. He kept placing those balls in that corner really low. I see you diving, but you could not get to him. What was your strategy coming in?
Well, for him at least, to give him some credit, 75 years of experience does help. I mean, look at him. He's got the ace bandage. He's got the good shoes. I mean, he's a teacher. He's got money. He's got experience. I've got ratty old college shoes. He's got the ace bandage and the nice racket and the...
Are you just making up excuses right now?
No, I played like... I'll give you bravado. No, I played like crap. I thought I could be confident against a Stone Age opponent, but wisdom wins.
So he looked a lot better than you. Like it's just he knew where to place that ball. He did not look tired. He kept his confidence up. He wasn't. He was just really. He just beat you. Better opponent tonight.
It's the serve that killed me. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be able, as an old man, I'm sure he's going through arthritis and all that stuff. For him to get that low and be able to get the ball that low, I just underestimated it. My scouting report was off.
Do I see a rematch in the future?
There'll be a rematch. No doubt about it.
All right, guys, the loser, Derek Palaki. Now we get the winner, Peter J. Ansel, the third.
You did say one thing right, Nate. Loser, Derek Palaki.
That's right. So, your confidence must have been really high coming in.
Yes.
We see that your experience really showed in that game.
I will give Derek credit, though. My resting heartbeat is 60. He did get it up to 61.
All right. So that's a plus for Derek. That's a plus. Do we see another rematch in the future?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
He owes PSTV 29 hours.
That is right, guys. Winner, Peter J. Ansel. Oh.
Good shower.
Victoria shower.
And there you have it, Derek. Watching that a second time, that just must have been brutal for you.
It's not the second time I've watched it. I've probably seen it about 3 or 4 times. I see it in my sleep, Lee.
Yeah, and that was just a bad beating. What do you have to say after that last comment by Enzo made?
He's old. I thought he was brittle. I thought I could take him. I figured he just did it to, stretch out. I didn't realize he played 8 times in 2 days. I mean,
he looked like he knew what he was doing.
Derek, can I just point out something?
Yes.
The way he was hitting the ball and the way you were moving around the floor, you flopped worse than half the Miami Heat team.
Oh, you and your sports things, you and your sports comparisons.
But hey, at least I will say this. You were talking about how bad I get dropped in the sports rap challenges, right? Lee, wouldn't you agree that you don't even beat me that bad?
I can't say that I beat Mike 30-1 at anything, Derek.
And so, yeah, and we had to go to 30. You don't have to go to 30 against him.
That's true. We do have a bit of a point decrease due to time saving, a lot of mumbo jumbo that I'm not going to get into right now. But we are going to take a break. We're going to come right back though, so keep it right here on Sports Rap Live.
Here at PSTV, we love our Cardinals sports, and we're a big fan of Bergie. But sometimes he can be just a little too much. Bergie! What did we tell you? Come on, let's go.
What the French toast?
Yo, I can't get PSTV. Do you have PSTV?
No, I don't have it either.
No! Guys, there's no PSTV. You guys got PSTV?
PSTV must be out again.
Welcome back into Sports Rap Live. We are almost out of time, but we have an announcement.
That's right. Roommate game coming up next. Lee and I will be on the show participating as contestants. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. And remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please email us at sportsraplivepstv@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you any way we can improve the show. But that's all the time we have for you tonight. Mike Warren, Derek Palaki, I'm Lee Dudek. Have a great night.